Let it vibe real quick. Look. The city eyes. It's time to Bogart. My God, a real nigga. Cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure. Got that shotty in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard. Tell them it's all true. Be cautious. That foundation voltage and fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit fitted. Time soon. Ain't no more heart in this game. I'm John Q. Colder than the avalanche. Way above average. Revenge taste sweet. Told him make me an apple tree. Left us in the valley full of bones. This where hope failed. Shall become a man. Dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evanston with Mark Quad. Telling me how the crackers turn his childhood to a ghost town. Focus out, nigga. I lay that game down. I feel his pain cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tantrums. Try to warn them niggas we bear arms like tarantulas. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really seen prophets under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty Diana. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo. Spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Wardo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they sleeves like a sorrow. Pay before it's name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it clicks like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Round with Yaradon, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah.
Hey, shalom, Lord and Christ, brothers and sisters. What's going on, man? Priest and Captain Soccer War coming to y'all live with an angry perspective. You know what I'm saying? Breakdown, man. I'm actually doing some test running right now, live on various platforms, trying to see how my computer, you know what I'm saying, setup holds up, man. But all the brothers and sisters tuning in, man, this is about to be something that y'all can get used to seeing. Me going live, you know what I'm saying, daily. Talking about different topics that's going on in the world, you know what I'm saying, things that's prevalent on social media, as well as me continuing to teach the classes that I teach Tuesdays and Wednesdays in Memphis, Tennessee for the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, as well as Mississippi. But for the brothers and sisters that's tuning in on YouTube and Facebook, y'all can see the topic of the, you know what I'm saying, what I'm going to go into today is Kawhi Leonard is the proof. For the brothers and sisters on TikTok, y'all just got, you know, test run for the topic. But I wanted to go into this Kawhi Leonard story, man. A lot of people may know, may not know, but there's been an investigation been going on for like the last 10 months. There's a reporter whose name is Pablo Torre, works for Meadowlark Media, which is a media company that got started during the days of COVID, that's ran by a guy named Dan Le Batard. Dan Le Batard is a long-time sports reporter out of Miami, Florida. He used to be on ESPN. He has a show called Dan Le Batard Show. And for many years, he's had a platform where he, you know, speaks honestly, speaks candidly about what's going on in the sports world, talks about, you know, how the owners are gobbling up all the money and really, you know, the players are being limited to the funds they're able to make, you know, because of different things that they do in negotiation with the unions, like setting a salary cap and different things like that. And so Pablo Torre, under Meadowlark Media and Dan Le Batard, has been doing a lot of investigative reporting that wasn't really able to be done at places like ESPN, wasn't able to be done, you know, working for a lot of these other big networks, because a lot of these big networks in media today are tied in with the corporations. Like, you know, ESPN used to be a sports network where you could tune in to hear about some of the things that was going on behind the scenes and find out about the different stuff that was going on with the teams and, you know what I'm saying, things like that. But lately, because ESPN has made deals with a lot of these media companies, you don't really get that honest, open reporting anymore, because ESPN now is, I think, 10% owned by the NFL. And so you're not going to get a lot of, and the NBA has deals with ESPN with all of the, the viewership rights. They broadcast the games. And so when you have conflicts of interest between major media companies and the people that they are reporting on, you're not going to get a lot of honest, candid, factual stuff coming out. A lot of the news stories that you see when it comes to sports, when it comes to entertainment, a lot of it is skewed towards, the leagues looking good and passing the narrative that they want to be passed. Well, Pablo Torre has been reporting for the last 10 months that he uncovered a scheme that the Los Angeles Clippers and their ownership ran to bypass the salary cap that is in the NBA so that they could pay Kawhi Leonard money under the table. Now, Kawhi Leonard is a superstar NBA player, plays for the Los Angeles Clippers. Before he played for the Clippers, he played for the Toronto Raptors. He won a championship for them, I believe, in 2022. They defeated the Golden State Warriors. Before Kawhi Leonard went to Toronto for a year, he was playing for the San Antonio Spurs. And so after the story starts with Kawhi Leonard winning the championship, getting traded from San Antonio to Toronto. When he got traded, he had like 2 years left on his contract. And he told Toronto, I'll come and I'll play for y'all, but I'm not going to guarantee you that I'm going to re-up my contract. Like, I'm only going to come play for that 1 year. So when Kawhi Leonard went and played for 1 year in Toronto, it boosted, and he won the championship. And so after winning the championship, Toronto was able to offer him a max contract. At the time, I believe they was able to offer him like 5 years, $250 million or something like that. Kawhi Leonard did not take the deal with Toronto for 5 years, $250 million. Another team that was pursuing Kawhi Leonard was the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers at the time had LeBron James. They had just traded for Anthony Davis. And if the Lakers could have got Kawhi Leonard, I mean, it would have been crazy. They was going to go on the championship run. The same thing he did for Toronto, he definitely would have came and done for LA with LeBron James, and they could have won another championship during the COVID year. So I got my times mixed up. Kawhi won the championship for Toronto in 2019. So 2020 was the COVID year. He was a free agent. He could have signed with Toronto, could have signed with the Lakers. He ended up signing with the Clippers. At the time in 2020, when Kawhi Leonard signed with the Los Angeles Clippers, both the Lakers and the Toronto Raptors ownership went to the NBA and complained that during the negotiation process of the offseason, Kawhi Leonard's uncle, who was like his agent at the time, was helping manage his career, was asking both the Toronto Raptors and the LA Lakers for incentives to his contract that was outside of the contract. So, I mean, he was asking for extra money under the table. He was asking for extra sponsorship deals. I believe he told Toronto he wanted part ownership in the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is a baseball team, because the Toronto Raptors owner also owns the Toronto Maple Leafs. So he was saying, y'all want Kawhi Leonard to stay in Toronto, play for the Raptors. Y'all got to give us, 5% stake in ownership for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But they told him that we can't do that. We can't sign Kawhi to a contract and give him part ownership in another team. That's circumventing the salary cap. He went to the Los Angeles Lakers and was like, give us you want us to sign for the Lakers, you got to give us extra money with, another a side deal to give Kawhi Leonard another $20 million, give him part ownership in the team. And the Lakers was like, no, we can't do that. That goes against the rules. So Kawhi Leonard doesn't sign with Toronto, doesn't sign with the Lakers, but he does sign with the Clippers. And he signed with the Clippers for a max deal. So I believe it's like, again, 5 years. Now he had to take less money to sign with the Clippers than he could have signed with Toronto. So I think he took like $50 million less. So maybe it was 4 years, $200 million, right? And the Lakers and the Raptors complained to the NBA because they was like, something shady happened here, because they was asking us to do extra stuff that went against the rules that we wasn't willing to do, but the Clippers signed them. At the time, the NBA did an investigation and found no wrongdoing between the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard, but they did issue a warning saying the biggest rule violation in the NBA is to circumvent the salary cap. Like, the only thing that keeps the competitive balance balanced is if these owners are limited to how much money they can spend. And so right now, a big thing that's been going on in the NBA is the last collective bargaining agreement they made, which is an agreement between the owners and the players union on how they're going to structure the contracts and things like that. They created a new system at the top of the salary cap where there's a limit to how much a team can spend before they go into what they call an extra tax bracket, where if you go above a certain amount of money, the NBA and the other owners taxes the ownership of the team to pay more money to all the other teams. So in the NBA right now, let's say it's $300 million. Every team can spend $300 million. If you go over $300 million, there's a first apron tax bracket you go into where if you in the first apron, meaning you spend more than $300 million, you got to pay like 20% taxes on whatever the bulk of your salaries are. So let's say you go into the first apron. The team every year has to pay an extra tax because they're paying all these players extra money. So in the NBA, if you go above the salary cap into the first apron, that's money that ownership has to pay out of their pocket in order to put this team on the court. If you spend more than the first apron, the second apron takes you into like 40% taxes, which is crazy for a team. A reason why a lot of these billionaires buy these basketball teams, buy these sports teams, is because it's damn near unlimited money between the television deals, between the stadium deals, you know what I'm saying, with the fans buying jerseys and showing up to the games. To own a sports team is like you have a money print presser. So a lot of these owners buy into these teams because, man, it's so easy to run the money up. Well, you're defeating the purpose of owning a team if you're going into the first and second apron and got to pay $50 million, $100 million in taxes every year. It's damn near like you cutting into the money you're making. So most teams in the NBA right now are avoiding going into the first and second apron of that tax thing. Well, the Clippers, when they signed Kawhi Leonard, you know, Kawhi Leonard had them trade a lot of the assets they had at the time in order to get Paul George to play for the team. So they got rid of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who ended up winning the championship for Oklahoma City. They got rid of a bunch of draft picks. They got Paul George. And Kawhi Leonard in his time in Los Angeles with the Clippers hasn't really won anything. But Pablo Torre did an investigation, man, and found out that there was a company that the owner of the Clippers did a sponsorship deal with for the stadium he built. And the name of the company was called Aspiration. Aspiration was one of them wasn't a nonprofit organization, but it was like one of them green initiative companies where they promised they was going to build trees and help make industries not be so toxic to the environment and different things like that. And so the Aspiration company did like a $300 million sponsorship deal with the Los Angeles Clippers to get their name on the stadium, get their name on the Clippers jerseys. Well, the Aspiration company ended up going bankrupt in 2023. And in the SEC filings of the company going belly up, they had whistleblowers within the company that exposed to the government that the whole company was like a Ponzi scheme. The cat that owned it named Sam. Man, I can't even think of the cat's name. The cat who owned Aspiration ended up going to jail. He went to jail because the company was set up like a Ponzi scheme. So as the company was being investigated by the government, as they got into the company records, they found out that one of the major investors in the company was the Los Angeles Clippers owner, Steve Ballmer. The company, in trying to boost its presence in the community or boost itself to get more people to, invest in the company, they hired a bunch of entertainers and athletes to be sponsors. And these entertainers and these athletes that they hired would do commercials or, they would post tweets about the company and stuff like that. Well, it came out that Kawhi Leonard had a deal with this company called Aspiration for $28 million. Except Kawhi Leonard never did any work for the Aspiration company. So imagine this NBA superstar who's known around the world gets a $28 million deal, sponsorship deal for a company that needs athletes and entertainers to promote the business, but the nigga never does he never does any public events. Kawhi Leonard was being paid $28 million by this company called Aspiration, and he was given a $20 million stake in the company, and he never did no work to show for the $28 million that he got paid. So that prompted the investigation to start looking into, why would this company hire Kawhi Leonard, pay him $28 million, and then he doesn't do any work? So as they did more investigation, Pablo Torre uncovered that behind the scenes, as the company was beginning to fail and the company was beginning to be investigated, Kawhi Leonard's uncle, whose name is Dennis Robinson, was contacting the owner of the Aspiration Company and saying, "Where's my money at? Where's the money you supposed to be paying to Kawhi?" Then they got the company owner relaying information back to the Clippers owner about Kawhi Leonard needing to get paid. And at the very last days of the company falling apart, before they went belly up, the Clippers owner invested like $2-3 million so that Kawhi Leonard could get his payments from the deal that they made. So this whole scheme, this whole thing with Aspiration and Kawhi Leonard is a violation of the NBA's salary cap rules. And so the whole situation, when it blew up 10 months ago, when Pablo Torre first released the first episode or so, the Clippers owner Steve Ballmer came out and said, "Man, this is a travesty. It's a lie. I got duped. This guy, he tricked me into investing in this company, and the company went belly up. The guy's in jail. We didn't have nothing to do with it." But since then, for the last, 11 months, there's been like 14 episodes that Pablo Torre has released in this investigation on his pod. So I left that part out. Pablo Torre has a podcast called Pablo Torre Finds Out. And every Friday he releases new episodes. And over the course of this investigation, Pablo Torre has released 13 episodes going into the details of how Kawhi Leonard and his uncle was getting all this extra money under the table from the Clippers. And the NBA is doing an investigation. But the NBA's investigation was supposed to be over like in February. But the investigation continues to go because they keep finding out more and more layers of money that was being funneled to Kawhi Leonard through these companies that made deals with the Los Angeles Clippers. The last episode that Pablo Torre did about this investigation revealed that the company Daktronics, that is a company that's responsible for all of the big giant, what they call them, the screens in the stadiums. You go to the stadium and the giant scoreboard screen and the giant advertisements. You go to any basketball game. So when they built the latest stadium in Inglewood, California for the Los Angeles Clippers, they had like $100 million state-of-the-art, they call it the Halo screen. It's like a screen that goes around the whole arena so that anybody sitting at any level of the arena can watch the game on the big giant screens. The big giant screens go around the whole building, right? So the Clippers owner paid $100 million to this company, Daktronics, to get this giant screen built in his stadium. They just uncovered that Daktronics also had a sponsorship deal with Kawhi Leonard, another sponsorship deal that Kawhi Leonard never did no public work for. The nigga didn't go to no public events. He didn't show up he didn't do any commercials. He didn't, wear a Daktronics hat, didn't wear aspiration patch on his clothes. Like he just was getting paid under the table and did nothing. And my whole point in bringing all of this out, this whole investigation into Kawhi Leonard and the circumvention of the NBA cap shows you that amongst the billionaires and the elites and the rich and wealthy of this nation of America, these people have no respect for rules, no respect at all for a fair and balanced measures, no competitive balance. They are willing to do anything and everything to win and don't respect any rules. They don't respect any authority. The reason why they're saying the NBA investigation has been taking so long is because Steve Ballmer is the richest of all the NBA owners. Steve Ballmer is a cat that was one of the founders of Microsoft. Steve Ballmer's worth like, $20 billion, some crazy amount of money. So for him to buy a basketball team and build a $250 million stadium in Inglewood, California, really, that ain't hurting his pockets. He got $20 billion. The reason why the NBA is taking so long to release the results of the investigation is because they're saying they don't want to offend this super rich owner. Because offending the super rich owner may cause him to challenge the entire system and go to court to say, we didn't do nothing wrong. They lying on us. But all the evidence that's come out in this investigation shows that the Clippers owner is a lying cheater. Now, the Clippers owner would have been able to be a lying cheater. He would have been able to pay all his players money under the table if black people weren't such horrible criminals. Kawhi Leonard is the worst criminal that you could ever imagine. Imagine you got a hundreds of $1 million contract to play basketball, and the owner wants you to play for his team so bad that he's willing to cheat the entire system and use outside companies to do deals with you under the table where you get paid money and you don't even have the decency or the care or the awareness enough to show up to do something for this extra money you get. And this whole situation has unraveled because Kawhi Leonard was getting $28 million for a job that he didn't have to do, that he didn't even do the bare minimum to not expose himself to getting caught. All Kawhi Leonard had to do for his cap circumvention scheme to work and to give him extra money and to never be a problem for anybody, all he had to do was just show up, clock in one time, go to one public event, put his face in the commercial and say, I'm Kawhi Leonard. Aspiration is a great company. They plant trees. They're a sponsor for the Los Angeles Clippers Stadium. You should support Aspiration, invest in the business to help save the world. And this whole investigation that Pablo Torre been doing could have gone away. This Pablo Torre cat done won Pulitzer Prizes off of this investigation. And a lot of people is like, man, Pablo Torre should have, he messing up the bag. Why is he all riding Kawhi Leonard? Why is he investigating Kawhi Leonard? Like, he should be investigating the owner. They shouldn't be making it, it shouldn't be reflecting back on Kawhi Leonard. If the owner want to pay him money under the table, the owner should be able to do that. That ain't Kawhi's fault. But it's like, Kawhi is the reason they got caught. Kawhi is the reason they got caught because black people are not good at crime. We're not good at, high stakes espionage. We're not good at money laundering. We're not good at covering our paper trail. The way that Kawhi Leonard got caught is around the time he signed to play for the Clippers, the company that he was getting the sponsorship deal with was called Aspiration. His uncle started 2 LLCs for them to funnel the money into. The name of the LLCs was like K2L Aspiration. K2L is Kawhi, number 2 he wears, and L is his last name, Leonard. So K2L is Kawhi 2 Leonard. Aspiration was the name of the company. It's like drawing a map to the money being funneled from this company. They found out that there's another company. There's a sports team in Rhode Island called Rhode Island FC, right? Rhode Island Football Club is a soccer team in Rhode Island. It's like a second-tier soccer league team. They gave Kawhi Leonard an ownership stake in that company. Now, in order to get an ownership stake in the company, you got to invest money. But Kawhi Leonard is named as an investor for the company, meaning he's a partner with the creation of his soccer team. But again, just like with Aspiration, Kawhi Leonard has never done any advertisement, any promotion. He ain't never got on a commercial and said, Rhode Island Football Club, great soccer for the state of Rhode Island. Y'all come check out the games. And so when the investigators come and ask, hey, is Kawhi Leonard an investor with this ownership group? And they say, yeah. And it's like, well, why isn't he, why didn't you guys post about it? Why didn't you guys make a tweet or make an announcement? Because Kawhi Leonard is a horrible criminal. He doesn't know that. in order to do cap circumvention, you got to cover your tracks out. If you're going to be getting money paid under the table, if you're going to, be a part of a money laundering operation, you got to do some work to make it seem like the money that you're collecting is for a job you're doing. Kawhi Leonard is such a horrible criminal that he didn't even know that he had to show up to pretend to do something so that the money that he's getting these companies, could be explained. So because black people are such horrible criminals, because, another thing that's horrible about this whole story is Kawhi Leonard's uncle is known for blatantly asking everybody out loud for extra incentives for Kawhi Leonard to play for their team. Like for the Los Angeles Lakers and the Toronto Raptors to be able to go to the NBA and say, hey, man, Kawhi Leonard, uncle asked us to, do extra stuff in order for him to come play for our team. It's like, you can't do that. Your life contains things that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. Hate speech and hateful behavior. What have I done? What? How did my life get flagged? I didn't even do nothing. You're lying. Yo, that's crazy. Let me see if both of my TikToks got flagged. Nah, just one TikTok got flagged. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Kawhi Leonard is just a horrible criminal, bro. And because he's such a bad criminal, the NBA is in a bad spot. The owner of the Clippers is in a bad spot. And potentially, if this thing never got uncovered, if this thing never got found out, if Kawhi Leonard wasn't such a horrible criminal, then he might have enabled other NBA players to be able to get extra money. Like money outside of their contract is a good thing because these owners are billionaires. The fact that these leagues have to go to these owners and limit them from spending all of their money in order to have a winning team is kind of insane. If you think about how much money these people have, Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, he got oil money. He's worth billions of dollars. If the NFL did not have a salary cap, Jerry Jones could potentially spend $100 million 200 million, 300 million every year to put the best team on the field. He could sign all the players to, $70 million contracts, meaning everybody could be getting paid buku money if they didn't put salary caps into these leagues. You look at baseball right now. Anybody's a baseball fan. The Los Angeles Dodgers, for the last 3 years, has been putting the greatest team on the field that anybody's seen in baseball. Why? Because the Los Angeles Dodgers, being that they're in LA, have a huge market for viewers. So the Los Angeles Dodgers did a media rights deal that was worth like $4 billion. So the owners of the Dodgers is sitting on an extra $4 billion because of the TV rights deal they got. That's an extra $4 billion to spend on their players. You go look at the salary for the Los Angeles Dodgers right now. It's like half a billion. It's like $500 million. They're buying up all the great players in baseball because there's no salary cap. Also, baseball is the only sport that really a lot of Caucasians play in. You got Caucasian pitchers and batters. You know what I'm saying? It's the sport that's the least dominated by so-called blacks and Hispanics. But in football and basketball, where we predominantly run those leagues, they got salary caps. And why do they have salary caps? So those owners can't go crazy and spending all their money and making all these black people rich. You know what I'm saying? But even with the salary cap, these billionaires are such cheaters and have no honor that they was willing to break the rules. The owner of the Clippers is breaking the rules. He wanted to get Kawhi Leonard because he know that getting Kawhi Leonard mean he could win. He wanted to win so bad, he was paying millions of dollars into other companies to smuggle money to Kawhi Leonard. And all Kawhi Leonard had to do in order to help this cheating devil get all the players and all the shit he wanted to win a championship, all Kawhi Leonard had to do was make a tweet, make a post on social media. I'm partnered with Aspiration. I'm partnered with Daktronics. I'm partnered with this company. Y'all go check them out. But Kawhi Leonard is such a horrible criminal that he couldn't even do that much, which goes to show you, black people, that's not our lane. You know, being criminals, doing things that go against the rules, breaking the rules, it's just not something we're skilled at. We should leave all cheating up to our oppressors. We should leave all espionage and breaking the rules and circumvention of the cap. We should leave that up to our oppressors. There's a lot of brothers that's, you know, in the world, and they believe that there's a way that they can move in this society that doesn't require them to obey the rules. They believe there's a way they can move in this society that will allow them to, you know, skirt the system or cheat the system. And the reality is you cannot. You understand? There is no way to cheat the system. There is no way to break the rules, because when we go to do it, we end up embarrassing ourselves, like Kawhi Leonard has with this whole situation. That's the only thing, that's the only outcome of everything that's been going on with this investigation, is that Kawhi Leonard got embarrassed. Everybody understands. And not only did he get embarrassed, he's messed up the bag for all the other players. Because if this thing was able to go through, come on, man. The Clippers could have got more players to get more deals under the table. The Lakers might have got LeBron James more money on a side deal under the table. The Boston Celtics may have did a side deal with Jaylen Brown to keep him playing for Boston instead of trading him away to Philadelphia. I mean, the implications is monumental. There's so many different ways that these owners could have been paying these players under the table if only we were better criminals. But seeing that we're not better criminals, seeing that we're not skilled, and we're not in a position to be able to cheat the system, we get caught, we get embarrassed, and we mess up the bag for everybody. And so, you know, for all the brothers and sisters that may not have, you know, heard the story or knew what was going on, that's what's going on when if you hear anybody talking about the scandal going on in the NBA. It's all about Kawhi Leonard and him being a horrible criminal and not able to at all do the job that needed to be done so that he would be able to get this extra money, secure this extra bag. You know what I'm saying? Now, for everybody that's on Angry Black Man Media on YouTube and Facebook, the camera went out for a little bit. I'm trying to get it to fix. Now, for the people that's on TikTok, on Angry Black Man Media on TikTok, it looks like the camera froze. The camera froze on TikTok. Let me see if I can get the camera back up, y'all. It says no video signal. Let me see something. Okay, couldn't hide the camera. Hold up. See if I can get it to work. Okay. So I got to troubleshoot that on this laptop. I got to troubleshoot why the camera going out and not coming back up. No video signal, bro. That's crazy. No video signal. See something? Oh, still not coming back up. What is going on? What is not functioning properly? Okay, hold on. Bear with me, y'all. Okay, TikTok. Angry Black Man Media on TikTok might just be stuck. Let's see something. That's stuck too. I don't know why it's doing that. Bring back up the iRun camera. See, the iRun camera ain't go nowhere. So it ain't the iRun. Is it the restream? No. All right. I'm gonna try to figure this out while we on live. I'm gonna stay on live, y'all. But let me know what y'all think, man. Did y'all hear about what was going on with this situation before I did this live stream? And did you have any thoughts about it? Okay, hold on. Stop iRun from crashing during the live stream. Switch your phone connection from Wi-Fi to a stable USB. Load the video resolution in the app settings and reinstall a clean version of the virtual webcam driver. Let's see something. Clean reinstall on the producer client, clean introduce cameras, reboot and reinstall the latest package. Okay, hold on. Okay. Problem is, Restream is what's dropping the video. The video is still up on the computer. The computer's still working. It's not the computer that's the problem. It's Restream that's the problem. See, so the camera coming up right now. Let's go back to see the camera back up for iRun. Now the camera now working for TikTok though. Let me go back to TikTok. TikTok dropped completely. Okay, now is it okay? TikTok's back live. Hey, Uncle Frank, appreciate the amped up. TikTok, let me know if y'all seeing me, man. TikTok, let me know if y'all able to see me. Okay, yeah, you can see me on ISUBK Memphis. I'm talking about on the Angry Black Man Media. Let me know if y'all can see anything in the camera on the Angry Black Man Media. Okay, you can't see nothing, but you can hear me though, right? Can't see me, but they can hear me. See some boom, boom, boom. Okay. There's no visual. No visuals on what's the name? Nina Tayana, what's up with you? Y'all seeing me on Facebook and YouTube, right? Brother Thomas said, I heard about it, but my thing is, what will they do since the NBA commissioner say it's not the NBA problem? Here's the thing with the whole Kawhi Leonard situation. The NBA is doing an investigation, and the commissioner has to do something major. The last time a situation like this occurred where owner was found trying to circumvent the cap was back in like 2007 or 8 with the Minnesota Timberwolves and a player named Joe Smith. Joe Smith played for the Minnesota Timberwolves along with Kevin Garnett. And Joe Smith, you know what I'm saying, was found. They made Joe Smith a promise that if he played for the team for one more year under the contract, that at the end of that season, they was going to sign him to another contract for extra money. And the shit was so blatant. I think the owner wrote the shit down on a piece of paper or something and gave it to Joe Smith. So they got caught because they was extremely stupid. It was like extremely green the way that they had set it up. So when they got caught, the NBA commissioner at the time was David Stern. David Stern is an old small hat cat. He was real shrewd businessman. David Stern came down real heavy-handed on the owners of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they took away like 5 first-round draft picks. They voided Joe Smith's contract. He couldn't play for the Timberwolves no more. And then I think the next team that picked up Joe Smith, they didn't give him no damn money. So it was a real bad situation for Joe Smith. Like, he never recovered from that whole situation. And the whole point of it was to teach, like sending a message that you're not going to be able to play again. You're not going to be able to violate the rules. You're not going to be able to have an unfair, advantage over other owners because you paying dudes money under the table. And so that's what everybody's looking for now. They're looking to see if the NBA is going to come down hard for TikTok. I'm ending the stream because I'm going to try to pull it back up, see what's going on, see how I can fix it. But they waiting to see if this new commissioner is going to do to the Clippers what's the name did to Minnesota. But the reason why they all thinking it's not going to happen is because this owner of the Clippers is so rich. You know what I'm saying? Because if they tried to, overextend themselves and punishing the team, he has a chance to be able to say, nah, fuck that. I'm not letting y'all punish me. I'm not accepting whatever shit y'all saying that y'all want me to do. I'm not accepting that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, has the right to be able to challenge whatever the NBA's ruling is. And so everybody's really waiting to see what the punishment going to be, because it'll send a message that either the NBA is not accepting this type of behavior, or it'll send a message that, hey, the NBA, these rules, these owners really ain't got to follow. And now it'll be open season for everybody to be able to get money under the table. And I guarantee you going forward, nobody's going to be as sloppy as Kawhi Leonard was. And Kawhi Leonard was extremely lazy, extremely sloppy. Somebody paying you $28 million outside of your job, which is to play basketball. All you had to do was send a tweet out. All you had to do was show up to a public function and say, yeah, I'm team aspiration. I'm team Daktronics. He didn't even do that. And the nigga didn't even have the decency to just do something. And the thing is, he shouldn't have the decency. He shouldn't be a good criminal. He shouldn't be a master at, money laundering. He's a basketball player. He ain't got to know how to be a schemer and a scammer. But Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers, he's a scammer. He's a billionaire scammer. He's a schemer. He's funneling money to the companies, as robbing from other people and taking other people's money. He really propped up Aspiration, and Joe Sandberg is the cat's name, to be a reputable, honest businessman, when really the cat was a grifter. But Steve Ballmer didn't care if he was a grifter as long as he was able to get, a benefit out of it. And the benefit that Steve Ballmer got out of it was circumventing the NBA salary cap. And it's, it just go to show you, man, there's no amount of money that can change someone's character. And these rich, powerful elites in this American society, they don't have that, they don't have any sense of honor. They don't have any sense of fairness and balance. You know what I'm saying? They'll cheat any way they can. They'll break the rules any way that they're able to. They'll bypass, whatever safeguards are in place to make everybody have to compete on a fair, playing field. They're going to violate it, huh? And the thing is, really, we shouldn't be surprised, because we know who our oppressor is. We know what the Bible tells us about our oppressor. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we know that these people are the devil that the Bible speaks of. And because we know that the devil the Bible speaks of, we really shouldn't be surprised when they get exposed. We shouldn't be surprised when, news like this comes out, because, what else did you expect? What you expected the richest owner in the NBA to be honorable, to be, somebody that's not going to cheat? No, man. None of them have any honor. All of them are cheaters. You understand? Okay, so here's my problem. Is TikTok will not allow me to use my webcam. But they'll let me use the camera that's on my laptop. Okay, let me see something. Switch back, boom. I like the way this camera look better anyway, but Restream don't be keeping the stream up, man. This shit blowing me, bro. I gotta figure this out, bro. I gotta figure it out, man. And why is it not even coming up, bro? Why is it not coming up? So I need a social media team, man. I need a social media team to help me figure all this shit out, man. I'm an old man. I ain't got it like I used to. I might need to just buy another webcam, have a webcam that's plugged in directly to the laptop. But then, even without that, though, I still was having issues with the iRun webcam dropping. User Mook 50 vet the threat. What's up with you, man? He dropped off. Hey, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. 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 Bird, bird, bird. Bird's the word. Okay, now the camera back up. Okay, now the camera back up. Okay, I figured that part out. Figured that part out. All right. Okay. Well, I've been live about 45 minutes. I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer, man. I just wanted to break that down, talk about that Kawhi Leonard situation. Just go to show, man. The Lord shows some people we're not built for the crime. We should leave crime up to our oppressors. You know what I'm saying? Everybody should learn from the Kawhi Leonard aspiration investigation that when you try to get involved with these rich billionaires and their capacity to skirt the rules and launder money and do different stuff, we should not participate in their schemes. Even though it may seem good on the front end, even though they make promises, it's always going to backfire in the end. And here's what I guarantee you. I guarantee you that with the fallout of this whole thing, that owner of the Clippers is not going to protect Kawhi Leonard. If the judgment that comes down from the NBA, if it's between Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers are going to save themselves. They're not going to save Kawhi Leonard. They're going to throw him under the bus. And it's going to be a shame and a travesty because I guarantee you that all of the ways that they went about funneling this money was not Kawhi Leonard's idea. It wasn't his uncle's idea. You could tell that all of this was some, it was shoddy work on Kawhi Leonard's side of things. Him, his uncle, they even had the sports agent was involved in smuggling the money. And, we got to understand, man, that these people have been doing this for many, many years, many, many generations. All of the stuff that came out, with the small hat that was running with the island guy. I ain't going to say his name because I might get banned, but the island guy was a money manipulator. He knew how to, manipulate the financial markets and get money from here and smuggle it over there and do all types of different things. That's their game, man. That's the game that they play, that they've been playing. That's how they've gotten rich. That's how they've gotten wealthy. That's how they've, taken control over many different countries and politicians and things like that. Like, that's their game. When we go and try to play their game, when we go and try to emulate them, when we go and commit crime and get involved in stuff we ain't got no business getting involved in, we the ones that get the short end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? And as a result of this, man, the whole NBA offseason been held up because the Clippers tried to trade Kawhi Leonard to Toronto. The NBA sent them a notice saying, look, Toronto, you can trade with him if you want to, but whatever consequences come down from this investigation, y'all going to have to deal with it. And so this whole thing is being held up because every few weeks, Pablo Torre is coming out with a new episode of how horrible Kawhi Leonard fumbled this bag. And everybody should learn and know from this that black people we're just not good at crime. We are not as skilled at money laundering as our oppressor is. We should leave all of the crime and all of the espionage and all of the backroom deals up to them. Because when we go dip our toes into the waters that they swim easily in, we drown. But hey, maybe I'm just an angry black man. I don't know what I'm talking about. Y'all let me know, man. You know what I'm saying? Chief Sock G, Captain Soccer Water, Israelite School of UPK. Start trying to stream every day, man. Come with little different, topics and things that need to be discussed and broken down. For the brothers and sisters, follow me on TikTok. Lord allow, man, going forward, I'll be able to stream on TikTok, and I'll be able to stream on YouTube and restream. You know what I'm saying? Especially for everybody that's on the ISUPK Memphis TikTok right now. Y'all lock in, man. Follow, subscribe. When I teach classes on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, y'all be able to see me live on the screen on TikTok for the Memphis page. We ain't had that capacity before. I think I may lay off going live on Angry Black Man Media. I think I'm just gonna go live on one camera, and it'll be this one, and then I'll have the restream up on this camera. And then if anybody want to join in or got any questions and want to get in the class, I'll open up the class to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm gonna try to rock it out going forward. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man, for rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? Captain Soccer War, Chief Sock G, ISUPK. Till next time, I'll see y'all. Shalom.